Questions and comments. The honourable member for Courtenay, Alberni.
Speaker, I really want to thank my friend from Carleton for his articulate speech. Mr. Speaker, I agree with him that government doesn't belong, and it shouldn't be playing a role in investing in a leaky pipeline. It should be all the private sector moving forward when it comes to energy, unless it's clean energy and moving us forward. But there is a place sometimes for the government to invest, and especially when it comes to our fish. We've got a billion-dollar industry in British Columbia for our salmon, and in fact, the government currently only invests about $50 million a year, which is, as you can imagine, in any industry, that is not a lot of money. And right now we're seeing record low returns in our fish. In fact, they've announced this coastal restoration fund, and there's communities that are seeing none of that money. None of that money, despite our situation. So here we are with an alarming problem with our salmon. And this government can somehow magically find $4.5 billion to buy a leaky pipeline, but they can't find money for the Somas River, for the Clayoquot, and for coastal communities all from coast to coast to coast that are seeing serious declines in their salmon. So does my friend from Carleton also find it appalling that the government can find money for the private sector, for industry, but it can't find money where it's responsible, where it is up to government to invest, to ensure that we have good jobs for our sport fishers, our commercial fishers, our indigenous fishers, that support small business and coastal communities that solely rely on those government investments for enhancement, restoration, and for habitat protection.
Honourable member for Carleton.
Yes, and I agree that the government should focus narrowly on its responsibilities. One of those responsibilities, of course, is conservation and protecting the environment. But what this government has done instead is to get its hands into everything that is not the government's business, because parties and governments of the left are like the true economic busybody. We all know a busybody, right? That person who's always showing up uninvited, always trying to be helpful, but always, though, causing more problems than he solves. And that's the kind of economic interference we get from this government. And when politicians involve themselves in commerce, when they start to enter the boardrooms of the nation, what you have is a country where businesses get ahead not by having the best product, but by having the best lobbyists, where businesses, instead of obsessing about pleasing consumers, have to obsess about pleasing politicians. And that is not the kind of economy that we want to have.